Lally ho, friends, and welcome to episode 6 of Kupo Quest. We were just talking about how these people have put up with me for 12 hours now, and we're about to make it another 2. So, thank you for tuning in or viewing this on YouTube or wherever you're watching this. Quick update for where we are and what happened last time. As you may know, our good friend Izzy was unceremoniously crushed by an altar, but it was only a temporary death, as Ava decided to strike a deal with the wind icon Garuda and basically pledge themselves to her service in exchange for her bringing Izzy back. It did come with some additional drawbacks, though, as Garuda made it very clear that in doing so, it would completely drain the wind crystal of its power. Ava and the group decided, much to Princess Sarah arguing against it, to go through with it. So they were able to bring Izzy back. However, with that, the wind crystal, unfortunately, was drained of its power. You noticed, as you left the wind shrine, also, that the wind was slowly dying, and by the time you made it back to the Chocobo Forest where you took shelter for the night, the breeze kind of dissipated. While there, you had a couple interesting conversations with Princess Sarah, who, some of them were more friendly than others. But essentially, you learned a couple things. You did learn that she was planning on marrying Firion, the youngest son of the Emperor, not only out of duty or a way to unite the kingdoms, but because the two had fallen in love. And you got some background on the 2 items that you'd been entrusted with. The ring from her father, which she found a little odd, and mentioned to you that her father never really talked about her mother in front of her. And then the brooch from Moro, which she let you know that was something that her mother wore at her wedding. After that, you all basically bedded down for the night. And in the middle of the night, you had a strange experience in that you all had what seemed to be a shared dream where you were visited by the ice icon Shiva, or as she is known throughout history as the betrayer icon, because it is thought that when the other 4 icons went to confront Bahamut, she betrayed them and left them to die. She didn't show up, but it does seem like she made a crystal, which is the crystal that you all now carry, shards of that ice crystal. She revealed to you the jobs that you had unlocked and basically told you to remember what she told you, even though you had no memory of ever meeting her before. She seemed to have obviously known who you were, but at the same time seemed surprised that you were, quote, the new warriors. So a little confusing there. But as you wake up in the morning, that's where we're going to pick up our game. And I know that people are very curious as to what jobs everyone picked. And I'm curious to if you are going to be decking yourself out in these jobs or if you're going to continue to just wear your original clothing. What are you all doing? It's morning. You stretching awake. I'm assuming that, Nozak, you are still cuddled up next to whoever was petting you the night before?
Yeah.
Ava.
Nozak. Nozak, it's time to wake up.
Don't scratch it now.
Ava, as you're shaking Nozak awake, something catches your eye on the palm of your hand. And it's your left hand. As you are kind of shaking him, you pull it and you look at it, and you now have in very faint green, it looks like a tattoo has been placed on the palm of your hand. And it is a stylized G with what looks to be elements around it that seem to indicate wind of some kind. You've seen this on banners. You saw this on banners back in the Temple of Garuda. If you don't already, if you hit refresh on your D&D Beyond page, you will have an additional feat called the Mark of Garuda, which does give you one additional thing at the moment. So,
whoa!
Don't get too excited. It's not that impressive yet, but you do have something to show your Mark of Garuda. So
You can now fly on the wind. Oh wait, hang on.
yeah, you have a flying speed of 160 feet. No, it's not that good. You're still just level
If
3.
found, please return to Garuda.
Basically. But it is on your palm, on your left palm, and it is kind of a greenish color. It's still dark, but it's not quite black. But it is like a dark forest green, I suppose. It's noticeable. What do y'all do?
Very subtle, Garuda. Very subtle.
Izzy has been awake for the last couple of hours. I think only Ava would have known that. Because, he only needs 4 hours to sleep. And he has been furiously reading his tomes, writing in his book, mostly just studying the crystal he was given. And he's discovered a couple of things that he knows the party isn't interested in. But currently, he seems to just be using his stone and pommel to make some sort of a paste.
Okay.
Fair enough.
At this point, Sarah is waking up as well, and she just kind of rolls over. She spent the night next to Furion, so I'll put her over there. As they both just kind of wake up, stretch, she rubs her eyes and just kind of looks around. Good morning, everyone. I hope you slept well.
Good morning, Princess.
Yeah, I'm up. Okay, now. I'm not a morning person.
For those of you
Grunthor's
who
gonna
watched
get
a
up.
previous episode, you'll know that Nozak normally sleeps until about 4 p.m. the next day. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm going to notice that my clothing has changed. That I am now in a kind of a golden armor.
Okay.
And it looks like plate armor.
You.
What do the rest of you look like?
So, Nozak has woken up, and he, in all of his furry glory, that sounds like such a wrong sentence to say out loud. He is kind of waking up, and you can see like a little bit of green fabric rolling over his eyes a little bit as he's like trying to like push it out of his way. And as he's like looks down at his hands, his bracer is not there, so he starts to panic. But then he realizes that he's also wearing just a light beige white off-color shirt. And he has tiny little brown shorts, which are absolutely adorable on him. Which has 2 little daggers hooked into the belt loops. And he has no idea what the hell is going on. And these are just glamours. They don't affect the actual clothes that we are wearing, correct?
Correct. So it doesn't affect your AC
really want to
or
get rid
anything
of...
like that. But
No, I just really want us to get rid of the disadvantage on stealth.
yeah, no, sorry. It's not that powerful yet. Level 1 jobs, come on. What about you, Ava? What do you happen to look like as you notice that you've noticing your palm, and then is there anything else you notice about you?
No, despite the palm change, the only new addition for Ava is 2 new daggers, similar to Nozak.
Okay. Izzy, what about you?
The only change is that Izzy is not carrying his stone in a little sack off to the side. And now is just hanging from the spine of his book. You know how like some people have like a phone charm? It's kind of like that, but on his book, and it's just hanging off of the edge of it. His clothes have not changed. He is not a fan of change.
Okay. Nice.
If he likes his outfit, he's just gonna wear it.
This is interesting because I didn't check what jobs you all picked, so I'll be interested to see when Izzy busts out whatever is going to happen here. It'll be a nice surprise for me, too.
Listen, he likes one thing. We all know the one thing he likes. We all know what job he chose.
I could guess, yeah, but...
He's a warrior, right?
Yeah, you guys see he stands up. He takes off his shirt. He's just extra ripped all of a sudden. It's weird.
So,
that's funny.
Sarah kind of stretches. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Were you going to say something? No, okay.
No, I just said that was funny.
Sarah just kind of stretches and says, "All right, what's the plan for today then?"
You head back to Cornelia.
Yeah, we need to take you home. That was the original plan, wasn't it?
She just kind of looks at Furion, and they just kind of nod at each other. Okay, very well. At this point, the two poachers are also starting to they sound like they did not sleep well at all, though. So everybody else seems kind of rested, and these two are like, "Oh God, this ground is so hard. Does anybody else have a headache? My back hurts too." Of course, they're still bound, so they can't actually reach and rub their back.
I am going to go over to the Chocobo Duchess and make sure she had a good evening. Yes, the Chocobo's name is Duchess, and you hear, and you do hear Grunthor is like, "All right, Duchess, how did you sleep?" You know, stroking her neck.
She just kind of leans into it and gives you kind of a nuzzle. You can see that she seems to have a pretty good night as she's just kind of starting to like wake up herself.
Okay, today we are going to learn to take a rider.
She kind of cocks her head to the side. Seems to understand what you're saying. Seems to be okay
I'll
with
be
it.
right with you.
Seems to be okay with it.
Nice.
Sarah stands up, kind of brushes off her pants. Well, I suppose we should get ready. Be leaving soon, yes? If you'll just give us a couple minutes. And she kind of goes off into the bushes. And then Furion follows her shortly thereafter.
Well, I mean, lady.
Well, but if they're going together, I'm going to like kind of start edging that way and listen as sharply as I can.
Sure.
You might not want to listen too close, Grunthor.
I wasn't even going to say, like see if their intention when they were leaving seemed to be like, let's get out of here.
Okay. First, give me an insight check, and then to see, if you judge that, and then you can go over and listen with a perception check followed up.
Okay, let me. Very good.
Okay.
18 for the insight.
Okay. 18 for insight? No, they don't seem to be a flight risk or anything like that. They just seem to be you think they might want
12.
to have some kind of a conversation, maybe. They kind of exchanged a look before they stepped out of the clearing, but it didn't have a conspiratorial let's run look. 12 for the perception. It's a little hard to make out. You can hear them. They haven't gone very far. They've gone just a little bit past the tree line, and you can just hear them whispering kind of back and forth. But with the 12, it's kind of hard to make out any particular words, unfortunately.
Izzy will walk to the group, and he says, "So, when I woke up early this morning, I started studying these crystals, and it seems they have a lot of different capabilities. Mine specifically can hold pieces of my magic, which is normally impossible for most items unless they're specified for taking magic from things. That's one of the reasons why I have an orb. And you see, he sighs a bit. Ava, you saw this in the morning. While he was testing, you saw a staff appeared from the thing, and you saw he looked very disappointed before putting it back. And he says, and sadly, you can summon weapons from it, but I can't use staffs. I can only use orbs specifically, because they're made for people who can't control their magic very well."
Can you put the orb on top of the stick?
No. Unfortunately, it needs to have direct contact with me.
Oh shit!
That's the reason why it was given to me. I don't think I'll ever be able to use a real wizard staff, but that's okay. I have to do things differently. differently. But I'm assuming it probably has the same capability. Yours probably have the same capabilities. If you wouldn't mind, I would love to study them at some point.
Okay. I think.
What are we talking about again? The crystals?
I think so.
Mhm.
I kind of
Okay.
zoned out. I'm not gonna lie. It was like crystals, magic in the crystal, made a staff, didn't like the staff. I have pointy things now, and he just like pulls out the 2 daggers. Like I got pointy sticks.
You mean knives?
I thought they were.
I think those are more
leather
like leather openers. Yeah.
openers. Oh, yeah.
Fingernail file.
I mean, yeah, I got that. I don't feel as heavy. I mean, I know I just kind of feel lighter. If that's weird, I don't know, but I got pointy things now. They're not just blunt things. I can actually do damage. Well,
Wait, so you feel
visible
lighter?
damage.
You think Grunther can throw you further?
No, Zach is just immediately backing up, like at least 5 steps.
All right,
Basketball
we'll test
special.
it later.
Mhm.
We'll figure something out. I still have this one idea I really, really want to do at some point with you, Grunthor.
Oh, I'm interested.
I'm worried.
It's about this time that the 2 of them return. And they make their way over to the group. And specifically, they come and they stand kind of in front of everybody. Sarah, you see, kind of draws herself up, and she says, I want to thank all of you for not only your assistance back at the temple, but for the conversations we had last night. I've taken them to heart, and I'm trying to take your advice. And she looks over at you, Izzy. You had told me to listen to people that I respected, my elders, people that could assist me with this, and not just seek guidance from superstitions. And she looks down, and Ava, you notice that she's holding in her hand the brooch. And she says, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to listen to the person I respect the most in this world. And you see she brings the brooch up and she clasps it into her hair. She turns to you, Nozak. As I understand it, you are a cleric and an emissary of the Empire, correct?
Yes, Your Majesty, Your Highness. Have we escorted? Yes, ma'am.
Sarah's fine.
And thank you.
I have a favor that we would like to ask you. Given your position and your status within the Empire, I understand it that you can perform marriage ceremonies, yes?
Oh.
We have
I
witnesses.
can.
We have...
And to be honest, did not see that coming. Don't know why.
We have
But
witnesses
yes, I
here.
can.
We have 2 people from the royal family to bless this. And as far as I believe, this is even hallowed ground. This is the future of both Cornelia and the Empire. Help us make this official before we return.
Well, shit. I thought I had a hard choice to make the other day.
Wait, actually, I think I might actually cry. I was not expecting that. What? Okay, sweet. The homosexual is about to conduct gay marriage. Let's go. Well, not gay marriage. That's force of habit. Force of habit. I'm sorry.
Sorry, this is actually a heterosexual marriage. But
Yeah, I know.
Sorry. Wait.
Force of habit.
I'm sorry. Does that imply that Psychic has performed marriage before?
it does kind of.
Oh no! I've been outed again.
Wow. Wow. Our church wielding king.
Just so you know, you gave me this idea with an offhanded joke in the very first episode when you were joking about marrying the drunk couple. That you kept ruining their date.
Wow.
I don't even remember. Okay, yeah, cool. All right.
It's like a steel trap up here.
Holy shit.
Holy crap! Now I'm scared for the future. I am
Yeah,
so
I'm so
screwed.
scared to make jokes now. Holy shit.
I mean,
Oh my god, it would be so funny if Izzy made 1,000,000 gold.
Gold's worthless
just
in this
crushed by the
world.
weight
Have
of it. Crushed by the weight of it, dies again. Be like,
Yeah.
you got your million.
Oh,
It's like making a wish,
Uh,
using the wish spell. You got to be real careful. She just looks at you,
I mean,
and they wait.
Okay. I mean, I've conducted a few 100,000 ceremonies over the past however many 100,000 years that I've been around. Yeah, I can do that for you.
You see relief
I mean-
wash over her. You don't, she almost didn't even realize how tense she was in asking you this favor. And you can see both of them just kind of relax and look relieved and just ecstatic.
Okay. I will obviously say before I do it, I know we had some words yesterday, and I am understanding of the situation, and I am a lot more level-headed now, so I apologize for yesterday.
There's no need for that.
I still don't know where I lie personally. So I am happy to conduct this for you. Everybody feel free to gather around. We shall make it simple. We shall make it quick. And yeah, Nozak's going to start going into his spiel for what he would normally do to ordain a ceremony in marriage.
You see the two of them, they grasp hands. Furion actually holds up a finger and steps away for just a second. Okay. Grunther, you can go ahead and say what you just sent me, because that's relevant here. If you want to. And then Furion just steps away and picks a flower and kind of puts it into his shirt here.
Oh.
Oh,
Yeah, I think we're doing the same thing. So go ahead, Grunther. It's sending me some messages. But
Okay.
go ahead and say what you were doing.
Grunthor walks off to the side and plucks a few flowers. He starts braiding some into a crown of, basically a crown of flowers. Comes back and places that on Princess Sarah's head. Takes one single flower, and places it into Lord Furion's shirt.
As you do that, they both... Thank you. Thank you very much. And they just
Izzy,
smile.
You see Izzy sees this, and he's just like, oh, you see that he pulls out 4 almost wooden cylinders. They seem to have runes etched into the side, and you see he holds them out before calling Rofway, and immediately the runes on the side start glowing bright before orbs overtake the cylinders. And you see he throws them up, and they gingerly place into a arch made out of 4 lights around them or behind them.
Oh.
And he says, back home when there were weddings, normally lights were shown to represent the light of knowledge that you can teach each other.
Is that dancing lights you're using for that, or?
Yeah, it's dancing
curiosity.
lights.
That's
Yay.
great. Inspiration, because that's the best use of dancing lights I've ever heard in my life.
That is so cool.
As you can see, the two of them holding hands kind of look up as this happens. And you can see Sarah's eyes start to well up. And she looks at you and says, thank you. I wasn't sure how you all would react to this, but your response has been heartwarming, and I appreciate this more than you could ever know. And she looks to you, Ava,
well.
and she touches the brooch. She goes, thank you for bringing this to me. This is what I needed.
My
All right.
pleasure.
Well, if we are all ready, we will begin. And Nozak will start going into it because I am not pissing off more people on the internet by trying to make that a thing.
Everyone use your imagination, and it was the best.
Actually, can I
Nozak
roll a
to do-
performance roll just to see whether it is like whether he remembers
You know
what
what?
to do?
That's a great idea. Let's do a
That
performance.
sounds like it's
check.
going to be hilarious. It is average as hell. Let's go.
It's average.
It's-
It's good.
really
He hasn't done
average.
it in a couple hundred years. He's fine.
He hasn't done it in a while, and the situation's a little strange. So it's not his best wedding, but it's not his worst either. It's perfectly average. You know, it's
not
just
the worst.
right down the middle. They don't seem to care. The looks on their faces, they are just elated to be where they are. And as you come to the end of it, what do you say at the end?
And at the end, I'm just going to say, well, by the Empire clergy and those that have placed their faith in me to conduct a sanctimonious ceremony, I now, Princess Sarah of Cornelia and Prince Firion of the Garlemald Empire, I now pronounce you both married husband and wife, and I wish you all the best. Yeah, sorry, I'm a bit flustered. I haven't had to do this in a while, and we're in a very strange position, but...
Grunthor begins clapping.
Sarah looks at you, she goes, I've got it from here. And she grabs Furion by the collar and just pulls him in for a really nice deep kiss. And,
yes, queen!
PG moment.
PG.
Yeah, Izzy will clap very quietly before immediately getting back to reading his book.
You, as they pull away...
I'm picturing Izzy doesn't even look up, and he's like...
Oh, yeah. He's that one person at the wedding in the back. Like, their parents drug them there, and they don't want to be there, and they're, like, playing their Game Boy or something. Game Boy. God, I'm so old.
I'm there with you.
I can't believe I just said Game Boy, and just...
First thing you thought of was
First
the Game
thing I
Boy.
thought of. Oh,
Been there,
God.
done that.
Oh, my God. As they pull away, Furion kind of catches his breath for a second. He goes, I almost forgot. And he reaches into his bag and he pulls out a ring that he had on him. And he just kind of looks at it. He goes, I've been carrying this around just in case. And I know this is a little backwards. I was supposed to give you this first, but... and he just slowly slips it onto her finger. And it is very nice. I mean, it's, he's a king. He's the son of the emperor. They got some money to burn. It is a very, very beautiful diamond ring. Give me a history check, Nozak.
Oh, no.
Ooh,
History.
this one
Oh,
was
God.
from the moon.
It's one of my worst. Please give me something good. And it's still perfectly average.
It's a really nice ring.
It is a really nice ring.
Really nice ring.
It's so old I don't remember it.
Grunthor's going to step forward.
Yeah.
And face them both. And it's like, you two have begun a journey to unite the Cornelia and the Empire. He takes off his pack, reaches in, takes out the egg. It's like, let this be a symbol of your beginning, as all eggs do, and presents it to them. You must care for it, like you care for your own lives, your own love, and your kingdoms.
As Sarah reaches out and she takes it, not 100% sure right off the bat exactly what it is. But she, looking at the size, looking around, you could see she's starting to piece things together. She goes, this is very generous.
I will help you raise it.
Thank you. And then Furion, right next to her, just kind of jokes, Oh, already have a kid, huh? That didn't take very long. As Sarah just kind of nudges him really quick in the side, playfully. And then Sarah turns back to you.
Gotta give him a little punch in the shin for that one.
Yeah.
Like, dude.
This is
Too soon.
This is very generous. It has been, oh my god, since I was a little girl, since I've seen a chocobo, actually, besides this one. And she points over to Duchess. They've just been gone from Cornelia for so long. I can't really express what this means to me. We will take care of this with our lives. And this chocobo will represent the future that we're trying to build together. Cornelia and the Empire. She takes a deep breath.
It will.
With that being said, I do think we have some business to attend to, and my father is going to be pissed. This should be fun.
That's a problem for later.
She says, almost, yeah. She looks over at Furion, and they just kind of nod to each other. Thank you all for this. You will be remembered as the heroes that helped unite these two kingdoms. This is the first step. The second step is finding the current king of Cornelia and breaking the happy news. So...
yes.
You may want to maybe wear a disguise, Prince.
No.
When we enter.
He will be under my protection.
Okay. I have an extra cloak in my bag. I'm just going to go ahead and put this over your shoulders real quick.
Okay.
Because I do not want to have any issues.
Sarah says, we will need to let my father know what's happened, but he has a point. Going through town, it might be best to at least hide your face, just in case. Once we have made the formal announcement, that will change, but as of right now, the people don't know any better, but they definitely know who you are. Furion kind of nods. Yeah, that makes sense. I'll keep a low profile. Just kind of nods. Sarah turns back to you. Shall we get going?
Better late than never.
She reaches out, and her and Furion clasp hands as they just start making their way towards the exit of the Chocobo Forest. Is there any last minute?
And they roll a 1 and they go the other way.
Well, she knows how to get back to Cornelia. I'll roll just in case. Oh, a natural 20. I swear, that was the most wasted roll I've ever done in my life.
That's the best roll. No, that was the best use, because there's about to be a combat in town, and now that 20's gone.
There's not a... Why does everybody think the town's under attack for some reason? What's up with you all?
It's not the town. Believe me, it's not the town we're worried about.
Is he?
Cool.
Are you feeling up to a long walk after your resurrection?
Oh yes, after a long night of sleep, I do feel better. However, my mouth does feel uncomfortable, so I may need to rinse my mouth out with water once I get home. Maybe some mint. They don't tell you this. When you die, your breath smells horrible.
Mm. Yeah,
Everybody
near Izzy can attest to that. It's pretty bad.
Yeah. Okay.
It smells like death.
Derzak doesn't even bother. He's like, yeah, necrosis will do that to you.
You're too short anyway. You can't smell it.
I'm gonna offer Princess Sarah and or Prince Furion if they'd like a moment together, not to consummate it, but to to go
You have
up
to specify.
and ride Duchess.
Oh,
You know.
straight people, gross.
Fion's like, yeah, we'll need a moment. No. They will take you up on that. Sarah almost giddily is kind of like, seriously, I've never actually gotten to ride a chocobo before. I was too little when they kind of disappeared from Cornelia. I would love that.
Duchess has not taken riders yet, but I am training her, so I will be nearby.
Let's do it. Sarah's very eager to do it. So give me an animal handling check, just to see how well this goes. As you guys start making your way back.
Ooh.
18?
18.
Oh,
Yeah, yours aren't coming through on the thing, so just shout it out to me.
Damn it.
That
If you right click it, that'll fix it.
So yeah, 18.
No,
It's actually rather smoother than you were expecting, to be honest. She is very eager and is pretty like nimble herself, so she actually is able to get up there with little assistance. And after a little bit of uncertainty, you see Duchess kind of getting into the rhythm. Seems to kind of understand the weight, the balance. It's going pretty well. And with you coaching Duchess, it's just a couple awkward, wobbly steps, but then after that, seems to be fine, making your way at a pretty decent pace. Sarah, by the way, is having the time of her life. She seems like she is 10 years old again, up there and just enjoying life. This has been a very good day for her, and you can tell that she is quite pleased with how things are going at the moment.
Sarah
Even
was a
with the
chocobo girl
impending,
growing up.
Sorry, what?
Sorry, I said Sarah was a chocobo girl growing up.
Oh yeah, definitely.
gotta watch out for them chocobo girls.
But she didn't have a chocobo, so it was one of those. She was deprived. Definitely chocobo girl though. Yeah, doing well. You think that training Duchess to take a rider is probably not going to be as hard as you thought. She seems to be getting it pretty quick. She seems like a rather intelligent chocobo.
As a matter of fact, I'm also going to ask Prince Firion, would you like to ride as well? I need Duchess to get used to heavier weights.
Sure, that sounds fun. As he'll try to get up as well. He seems to be more at home. It seems like maybe he has experience riding chocobos himself. He doesn't seem to need any assistance getting up on it, and seems to kind of roll into it easy. He kind of like puts his hands around Sarah, and you can see there's no reins on this chocobo yet, is there? So he kind of just, grabs onto the chocobo's feathers towards the back of the neck, not hard, but even starts to try to take control a little bit to help steer it and stuff like that. He is much more comfortable up there than Sarah was. He also
and I'll
gives
just
her a little kiss on the cheek as they go.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you gave me a newlywed couple. I'm gonna ruin you all with just mushy goodness. It's about to get real
now I'm also
sappy
worried
up in
about
here.
remembering. I'm also remembering that if anybody had a brother or a person of interest, they died. So I'm like, fuck, who's he gonna kill now?
Not killing anybody.
Yeah,
I would not provide you with a newlywed couple just to tragically kill one out of nowhere.
But both.
No, I would if I was a DM.
Anyway, what are you doing?
sacrifice of war.
Are
I
we?
suppose we're going home. Yeah, are we? Is there anything else?
Yeah, are we
Sorry.
currently heading there, or did they just want to ride the chocobo for a little bit?
Well, she was heading
first?
out with the intention of going there, unless you all are going to try to dissuade them and then go somewhere else. The idea from her was to head back to Cornelia.
Yeah, let's do that then.
Yeah, that sounds fair.
We need to get our freedom, maybe some money, maybe a diamond or two, and Then we need to get onto this search for the mother crystal, whatever that is.
Oh God.
Oh wait, you told us what it was. Never mind.
We just remember the crystal. We don't remember much else. Yeah, I suppose
There's a
we're going
lot
home.
on. All right. It takes a better part of the day, but you eventually make your way back to the town of Cornelia, a place you haven't been in a couple days. But you roll into town. As you get closer, Furion kind of puts his hood up and brings it down over his face, still riding on the chocobo, behind Sarah, who is not showing any signs of getting down unless you're going to tell her to. Is anybody saying anything? Or you just
I am going to say I think it's best you walk from here, Princess.
Yes, you're probably right. I don't know if returning on the back of one of the first chocobos in Cornelia is the best idea, so sorry, I got a little carried away as she hops down. Reluctantly. You can see her just... Okay. As you start making your way through the town, though, you do get quite a few looks, because not only are you bringing a chocobo into town, it's a gold chocobo. So you start to hear people kind of whispering, like, what is that? I thought those were those are real? I've never seen this before. So you're drawing some attention. Definitely drawing a little bit of attention. What's the idea? Are you heading straight to the king, or where are you going?
I think that's best.
Okay.
No, Zach definitely is. The whole time he's been checking behind him to make sure that Grunthor's been also, or Ava has been taking the prisoners with us as well, because they were roped up and shit. So making sure they're coming, because we need to chuck them in the prison.
Okay. Yeah, they haven't said much. You get the feeling they're kind of just happy to be alive. Now that you're getting back to town, you can see they're starting to get a little nervous, as they're probably looking at, some jail time or something. Now that you're in the town, they seem to, their mood has seemed to drop. But you guys you're making quite the appearance on people. Gold chocobo walking in. People are still noticing the princess as well. She's not...
I was about to say.
Immediately, she's not up being displayed, but she is still walking next to you and hasn't covered herself up. She didn't even seem to occur to her. This is her town. She's just walking through it. And in the meantime, you're dragging two prisoners behind you. So yeah, people are looking. People are definitely paying attention to you. You hear a couple whisper. Actually, passive perception. Ava, you hear at least one or two people go, "Isn't that the murderers? The ones that killed the Galka? What are they doing with the princess?" And the other one says, "I heard they escaped. I heard they kidnapped the princess, but now it seems like they're bringing them back, so I don't know what's going on."
I want to look over at that voice. Is that the same old man that accused us of the murder in the first place, or is that a different person?
It's not the same old man. No. These are just
I need to find out what bullshit the DM has planned with this fucking old man, because there's no way he just disappeared.
I'm telling you it's Morrow. I'm telling you it's fucking Morrow that started shit. That is this is the hill I'm dying on.
I don't know why you all don't like Morrow. He's such a pleasant man.
He's a prick.
I love Mario. He's great.
Sorry, that's offensive to cacti.
I'm about to say, me myself likes Morrow. I'm pretty sure the characters don't though.
Morrow's my favorite kind of NPC to play, because I just get to be a dick, And everybody knows that I'm just playing a character, but it's so much fun to just be a dick for a minute.
We love to hate him. That's how I feel. I love to hate Morrow. I love Morrow, but I love to hate him.
Nice. So, you all make your way through the town and make your way up towards the castle. As you get closer, you see, Sarah just kind of goes over to Furion and whispers, "Just a little while longer. Once we get in, I'll tell my father what happened, and then we'll deal with whatever happens. But just know that we'll keep you safe, and if he does anything, it'll be an act of war, so I don't think he's going to do that." And then you can hear Furion say, "Oh, well, that's very reassuring. Thank you very much, Princess."
Can Nozak try and come up close to
Sure.
both of them, and just as they're having their little chat, I want Nozak to kind of just lightly tug on both of their pants or the dress or something.
Upbeats.
And they look down.
I just want to lightly tug on them. I just feel I know this is very precarious, but if anything does happen, Sarah, I do have an idea to lessen everything with Furion. I promise. I won't let anything happen, okay?
I appreciate that. Thank you.
I mean, I'm not exactly well liked either.
Well,
If we need to run, I'm very good at running.
So am I.
I don't think running is an option for me.
All right, that's fair.
For you,
You can
maybe.
practice
She
your
looks
fight.
over at Furion and he goes, "We'll see." I don't want to leave you. She goes, "My father's not going to do anything to me. If you have to run, run. If they need to run, leave with them. I'll clear it up and then you can come back."
Are we ready for this? Because this shit's about to go down.
Oh, God.
Listen, Izzy's here to get his freedom, do this quest for you guys, and then get back to what he was doing.
Boy can try.
What are you ready?
Alright.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm scared.
Yeah. I don't know why. I don't try to be a mean DM, but when my players are just a little nervous, it's just like a power trip. I don't know why. Just like something's. All right, let's just play some D&D. You make your way to the castle, and Princess Sarah at this point takes charge as she steps up, and the guards see her and they go, Princess Sarah, we haven't seen you in quite some time. Where have you been?" She goes, "I've been on an errand, and I need to speak with my father right away. These are my guests, not the two tied up. Those are prisoners we took. But we have urgent business for my father. I need to speak with him. Is he available?" And he says, "Yes, I'll send for him. He'll meet you in the throne room. That's a dumb question. Of course you know how to get there. Give him 5 minutes, and I'll make sure he's been looking for word from you." And she goes, "Yes, I thought perhaps he was. Very well." She looks back at you all. This should be interesting. Shall we?
Good.
She turns and strides confidently into the castle. She leads you through the hallways into the throne room. It's a couple minutes later.
Are you still with us?
Who?
Are the prisoners still with us?
Yeah, you're still dragging them behind. No one said they're going to drop you off anywhere, so until you tell me you put them somewhere, they're still with you.
I
We
want to
just
take
have-
them.
Yep, just two guys with us.
I want to take them.
All
We
right.
need as many witnesses as we can get. I've worked in the field long enough.
So, you all, and Duchess is coming with you. You all make your way
Yay.
into the throne room, and you see kind of sitting at the top, at the end of the long throne room in the chair is the king. And as you come in, he immediately stands to his feet. Sarah, where have you been?" As he runs over and just gives her a huge hug. You see she stiffens a little bit, though. And as he's hugging her, she does eventually return the hug, but it doesn't seem... It just doesn't seem as heartfelt. She kind of pulls away. "I've made a slight pilgrimage, Father. You do see Morrow, by the way, is also standing to the right of the king. And as they're talking, he kind of just makes his way just a little bit closer. I had some things that I needed to pray about, so I made my way up to the Wind Shrine. And Conrad just kind of goes, "Why would you go there? What? You know the rules. That is Empire territory. We do not travel there." For a dead Eikon. And Sarah kind of cuts him off. I wouldn't be so sure about that. As far as dead Eikon goes, we actually had a conversation with Garuda. Morrow in the background says, "Wait, you saw her? Garuda, the actual Eikon, came to you?" Sarah just nods. "These people witnessed it as well." And she points to you, waiting for one of you to kind of back her up on that.
I nod.
Yeah. Yeah.
I will say, she was not quite what we were expecting, but we did have a conversation with her, and there are some things I think you should know. And you can see Conrad stiffens a little bit, and he takes a step back from her. "What things should I know?"
Oh boy.
Your Majesty,
Yes.
I think you should have a seat.
I'll stand, thank you. What should I know?
Right.
Bitch.
She takes kind of a... I think you know why I left. And I don't know why you told these good people I was kidnapped. And you can see he bristles a little bit at that. Shoots you kind of a look like, oh shit, like she told him. But you know that I left here with someone. And I think you know that I was going up to the Wind Temple to seek guidance on my relationship. And he goes, "Pah, relationship? Who? Him?" And you can see he points to Furion, who still has his hood up, by the way. "Is this the one that you've deemed good enough for the Princess of Cornelia?" She goes, "Father, I need you to listen to me, okay? I need you to hear what I'm going to say. First of all, and she seems to be fighting for the words as Conrad all of a sudden goes, Is that your mother's brooch you're wearing?" She kind of reaches up and touches it. And she reaches up with her left hand, which has the ring on it. And he goes, "What did you do?"
Ozek's having an existential crisis right now, realizing everything. I'm about to start rolling for a panic attack at this moment. He is realizing things. He's like, "Oh no, what have I done?"
As she stands up as straight as she can, and she says, "I have married him." And Conrad just kind of shakes his head. "Married? How in the..." And he looks at you, Nozak.
I'm just gonna hide behind Good Dog and be like, "I had no saying it."
Do this.
Yeah.
You see,
When can I start rolling for panic attack?
roll if you want to. Yeah. Roll a d20. Roll a d20. 10 or less, you have a panic attack. He starts looking.
Out of all the...
Yeah, I am panicking. I'm freaking out.
All of the animals that have anxiety, I will say a bunny having it is most realistic.
That's true. You can see him looking around, and he got kind of a gist of who you all were at the beginning, and as far as he knows, you're the only one that might even be capable of this.
I'm just holding on to the back of Ava's pants and just fucking freaking out. I am crying. I am shaking.
He's still addressing you, Nozak. On whose authority did you marry the princess of Cornelia? You're not even a Cornelian citizen. You are a citizen of the Empire, who I have granted amnesty in my domain to. And this is how you repay me.
And I just kind of went into autopilot, and I didn't mean to do anything wrong. I'm scared, and I did.
I knew it was a mistake to trust someone from the Empire. This is what happens every time. Those bastards come here, and they just screw everything up for us. And he turns back to Sarah.
Your Majesty.
What?
You're getting far too emotional about something that's already been done. I would respectfully ask that you calm down.
How dare you speak to me like this? I am the king of this city. You are here on my behest, and the only reason your heads haven't rolled is because I said so. And now you come in here, you bring me my daughter, wed to whoever this is, and he storms past you. He pushes you out of the way to get to Firion. Who is this
rude
sheep herder and he pulls back the head. And you just
sorry, sheep herder hits different.
And you see Firion just looking at him with a defiant gaze as Conrad pulls it back and just drops it and just takes a step back. You have got to be kidding me. He turns on Sarah. How could you do this? What were you thinking? I was thinking that it was time that the Empire and Cornelia came to an understanding, that we started working together, and that I love him. You love him! Love. Love has nothing to do with marriage. And you can see her just kind of blanch for a minute.
I don't mean to.
Go ahead, Izzy. What are you saying?
No, this is Ace speaking. I don't mean to flaunt what I know about therapy, but that seemed a little too personal, sir. No, but Izzy speaks up and he says, "You are the king, you're right. And I know a lot about nobility, but I also know what happens when parents push their children away. It won't end well for you, sir. You see, this is our time. He was looking down, basically just like petting Anubis, and he looks up, he says, "Unfortunately, you have a choice to make. Would you like to continue on this destructive path that you're going down and push your daughter away from you? Or would you like to actually hear her out for a chance that you'll be in her life? Because I can assure you that Firion has no problem whisking her away from you if it means to protect."
Give me a persuasion check.
Okay.
In the background, you also hear Moro from the throne say, "Sir, I suggest you listen to this one. He speaks some truth."
Grunthor is going to add while he's doing that. It's going to say, "And she is no longer a little girl.
I'll be right back. I'm sorry.
A full woman."
Hey, that's a dirty 20, baby.
You see him. He looks at you, Izzy, and then he looks at you, Grunthor, as you say that. And then he just kind of stares daggers back at Sarah. "Fine, since you're a woman. Speak. Explain this to me in a way that I'll understand." She takes a deep, settling breath. "You and I have not always seen eye to eye on everything. That's true. I think we'll both admit to that. But I will be queen very soon. And I have to do what I think is right for Cornelia and the people here. And this drawn-out just conflict with the Empire needs to stop. Father, our people, they're starving. We can't get food, we can't get trade. If we just talk to the Empire just a little bit, we could live such better lives for our people. Your insistence on keeping this hatred alive after 20 years, it's hurting the people of Cornelia, and I can't allow that to continue. Grunther, go ahead and say what you just sent me.
While the princess is talking to the king, I'm going to reach over to Firion, move him closer to the princess, and kind of provide a picture of a unity as I put his arm around her waist.
Okay.
And pat him on the back, pat her on the shoulder, and take one step back.
And as you do that, he seems to understand what you're doing, and he pulls her close. And she looks over at him. It has already been done, Father. Firion and I are wed. This is the first step on a unified Spira. The Empire and Cornelia can come together. We don't have to keep doing things the way we've been doing them. Just put your pride aside for just a minute, and you'll see that this makes sense. He looks at her. Have you finished? She just deflates a little bit. That is all I had to say. Very well.
You're not having a panic attack anymore?
Then get out. You and your new husband are no longer welcome here. She looks confused. You can't just kick me out. I'm the princess. I can do whatever I want. You are no longer my daughter. As for the rest of you, I don't actually consider this a job successfully completed. You bring me back this thing married to the Empire. Disgraceful. At this point, Morrow says, Sir, I think you might be being a little irrational. What did you say? He just shuts up.
Your Grace, you have no heir after you besides Sarah. Once you die, your legacy and everything that you've made does not matter. People will piss on your name in the history books, and your name will go down as a disgrace for disowning your only daughter. I highly suggest you listen to the people that you trusted randomly, and I highly suggest you listen to your advisor.
Give me... You can either do intimidation or persuasion, because it is a little intimidating trying to basically trash his legacy. So give me either one of those, whichever's better for you.
Yeah, that's fair.
Hopefully, I was going to say, I want to be able to say something. Hopefully it maybe adds a help.
Let's hear. Let's see what you got.
Your Majesty, you promised us justice for returning your daughter. It was not a job. It was our lives at stake. We have performed our duty. But your princess, your daughter, is correct. You cannot survive a war against the Empire. Working together is the only way. Even your own advisors is suggesting this. What kind of king are you to go back on your word?
You can have advantage
when
you roll that, Ava.
I think only Nozak would see this. Nozak sees that immediately. Izzy just wordlessly is pulling out his orb, and you see the tip of a knife slowly being pulled out of his pocket by Anubis. It's giving very much, either way, I'm leaving this castle.
Hey, you need to get your character art updated and put a little knife in Anubis's beak, because it's hilarious. I love it. 19.
I mean, like, even with that, like, even Nozak's gonna be like, I mean, I've worked in the forge for the Empire for like 900 years, Your Majesty. You would not win against the Empire from experience. They're also good quality weapons because I made them myself, you know.
At
But
that, he just
anyway.
his eyes dash to you, and is just daggers at you. He looks back at you, Ava, and
daggers.
between you and Grunthor, and he just. You think I don't know that I couldn't win against the Empire? Of course I couldn't win against the Empire. That's why we're in the state we're in. That's why we have no territory. That's why even our old wind shrine is in Empire territory. I understand the threat they pose. My daughter doesn't seem to. He looks over.
She sees it more than you.
The DC was 20. He is not moved. You were one away. As he says, maybe my legacy will, but only history can decide that. I have to do what I feel is right, and getting in bed with the Empire is not the right answer.
Oh.
Sarah says, I was really afraid you were going to say that. I think maybe it's time for you to step down. As he takes a step back. What? You heard me. I am of age. I am wed. I think it's time for you to step down. I'm ready to take my place as queen.
You better go off! Sorry.
He just takes another step back. You can't be serious. You are willing to sacrifice the people of Cornelia for your damned pride. Who cares if we have to get in bed with the Empire? Who cares as long as our people can eat, can trade? Hell, this is the first chocobo we've seen in 15 years. Your time is done.
At that, I'm going to go behind and grab the two prisoners and move them forward.
Okay. What are you doing with them? They're just moving them forward? Are you going to say anything?
These two poachers are your citizens, working within your territories, hunting chocobo. This is what you represent. And I kick them both back of their knees so they're on their knees in front.
You could have just asked us. Damn. I feel like we've been pretty... And he looks at his friend. You know, we've been pretty agreeable. We've done everything else they ask. No, they got to kick us in the shit. Whatever. The king looks down. I can't believe what I'm hearing. What do you think about this, Moro? Moro seems shocked. With all due respect, I think I'll stay out of this one. He just takes a step back.
It's not like it's your job or anything.
I mean, choose your battles wisely, but damn.
At this point, there is a knock at the door.
Where to fuck if it's Mog?
Yeah, that would be... Man, I should have brought Mog in just so I could do the voice again.
Or like, can I get my piano?
You see the king. He looks back at the door. You may enter. He turns back to you. He turns and he looks specifically at Sarah. So you think you're ready to rule? You don't even know the kind of people you're associating with. You're young. You're make rash decisions. Got married on a whim. And these people murdered someone in my streets. The only reason I sent them is because I had nobody else. I've got someone I think you should hear from. As the doors are opening up, 2 guards are ushering in an old gentleman. Barely able to
Is it the
stand.
same guy?
It is the same guy. As he's got his cane and he's just walking very slowly. You can hear just the tap of the cane on the floor. Before they left, your friends here asked if I could hunt down an old man. Didn't give me too much to go on, but I managed to find him while you were gone. And I had a little chat to see what he knew. I think it'll be very interesting for you to hear. Queen, he says, just dripping with sarcasm. As the old man just starts making his way in. Your Majesties, thank you for having me today. I'm sorry it's not in better circumstances, and that it has to be in the presence of these murderers. What are y'all doing?
Hey, DM.
Yeah.
Izzy looks at this old man, and you see that he very politely pulls out his book, which isn't as big as a normal. It's about the size of like a what's the word? Well, they're like the smaller journals that are like bound.
Like those
Like a notebook?
composite notebooks or what? Oh, like the... Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah, the ones that have like black and white camo on them. It's about that size,
the
and
cow
as he
ones.
opens it,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, the cow notebooks. Very quickly, he's going to spend a charge from what's it called? From Awakened Spellbook, and he is going to immediately cast Detect Magic.
Okay.
What do his wizard's eyes see?
Is that an instantaneous spell?
It is instantaneous. If I cast it, if I don't cast it as ritual.
Gotcha. Yeah. You're getting some transmutation magic radiating off of this man.
The old man?
Yes.
Interesting.
Radiating off of
Okay, so after hanging out with our party, who so far has your boy seen is the best at persuading people of things? Because I have a +2 to persuasion.
So
I've just
far,
gotten lucky.
To be honest, your persuasion rolls have just happened to like not be great. I think Ava has been the most successful with persuasion so far. But
Ironically, I was looking at all our charismas earlier, and I have
Wait.
the highest charisma with 12. So
Jesus. Is based off of what I know of the Kingdom of Cornelia, and I would know of like the king and his advisor Marrow. Is Marrow a caster? I can make a check if you want me to.
You've got detect magic up, right? He hasn't really given you anything to indicate that he is or is not, to be honest. And at the moment, you're not getting any magical pings off of him. But other than that, the attire he wears is official attire, so it's not necessarily any kind of combat like robes or anything like that. So you wouldn't really know what his main thing is.
Excuse me, sorry.
Damn, I won't get Dispel Magic for another couple levels. Big sad. Yeah, as he does that, and he's speaking, I think that Izzy will whisper to the princess as he's talking, and I think very quietly he says to her, he's like, Did you mean it when you said you're impressed by my magical skill?
She seems a little distracted at first because this person has just entered. She's like, "What? Yes, of course I meant that."
She looks up and she says, "Do you think that I would be able to discern if someone was wearing a disguise of some sort?"
She looks back, kind of getting your meaning. What are you saying?
There's a lot of transmutation magic on that older gentleman. which would not be odd if it weren't in this specific circumstance. I don't think he is who he says he is. Fortunately, I don't have a way to put that glamour to bed, unfortunately.
She just kind of nods.
Making me use charges.
And looks back. The king, go on. Tell them what you told me. I saw these 4. They murdered that Galka in cold blood. They strolled into town. I don't know if they picked him randomly or if he just said the wrong thing, but they just started beating on him. This one here, and he points to Grunthor, just pushed him to the ground and started stomping on him. And that little one over there with the ears, he just... the things he did with the hammer. Don't even get me started on the big one with the ears. The magic that came off that one, I ain't never seen nothing like it in my life. And that one, he points to you, Ava. That one was the worst of all. So fast. He snapped his neck. Never even gave him a chance. I'm sorry, Princess, but these are not good people that you're hanging out with. They're evil.
But you're saying he died from a snapped neck?
That's right, I saw it.
Interesting. Did anybody else see the stab wound that was actually there?
I don't know. Did you stab him too?
I didn't have anything that could stab him. But I definitely know
He's
it wasn't a
looking
broken
at you
neck.
and sees your daggers, by the way, because you're a thief now.
Really quick
Oh,
about
these?
That
this.
sounds-
I literally picked them up.
That sounds like a confession to me. The guilt is eating them alive. What are y'all doing?
Mate, I've been here for over 1,000 years. There ain't no guilt in my soul.
I completely forgot. Do ritual spells count against your spell slots or not? I don't remember.
If you cast them as a
cast them
ritual,
ritual.
no. But since you cast it
Okay, cool.
instantaneously, it would, yes.
No, I have an ability for that.
Oh.
Basically, I can cast it as an instantaneous spell once a day.
Well,
a
then
ritual spell as an instantaneous
that would not have
spell once a day.
counted against your spell slots. It would have just used that ability. So,
Would have been nice to know last time we played because I had less spell slots.
oh no!
Sorry,
so, yeah,
continue.
That one
I'm
wouldn't count
so
against your spell
mad
slot
right now.
in this case. What are you doing?
Grunthor takes off his gauntlet, throws it at the old man's feet, and says, "Since you are my accuser, I challenge you to a duel."
Is that the law?
The king, standing right next to him.
Oh, mate. I've pulled out some popcorn now. I'm eating good.
Are you serious? And he looks to his daughter. Look at the people that you're associating with. Challenging an old man to a duel. After they've already murdered one person in my streets. Sarah says,
Accepting the words of a liar.
exactly, Father. You can't believe this. Ask your friends themselves. They can't tell you what happened. We have an eyewitness and then 4 people who conveniently lost their memories. She kind of looks at you just for a second. What did happen? She just waits for one of you to answer.
Basically what happened is, yes, as the king is speaking, it is true, I do not remember anything beforehand. But in coming to and standing, well, a little bit off to the side, Izzy was also off to the side at the time, the body that was on the floor had a stab wound and there was blood coming out of that. There was blood on the weapon, however the weapon was not being held by Grunthor, it was being held by the man, and I don't know what had happened there. Ava was also in a fighting stance and is going to fight Grunthor. Now, obviously, if we were all going to be ganging up on one person, why would one of our own teammates try to stand against one of our own? There is no reason for that. At the time, you would have seen yesterday before we woke up, I didn't have the daggers on me. I was the cleric. I had everything going on. We woke up in different outfits, okay? You saw yesterday, you saw what we were capable of. I mean, we revived his ass. Like, everything that has happened. Yes, I'm not going to lie to you, but at the same time, I'm not going to stand here and be accused of something where we know that something is up. So us saying this is what's happened is not us accepting our fate. It is us standing our ground and proving to not just you and yourself, but also to everybody else that we're not going to sit here and be accused of something when it didn't happen the way that it did.
Persuasion with advantage. And
thank you.
I'm giving you inspiration for actually remembering all that crap.
Good shit.
I'll take that. Persuasion with advantage. How do I do this again?
Just right click.
Yeah,
I'm
just
gonna let you
go ahead.
advantage.
Awesome. Thank you.
Wow, that's cool. My screen actually just like updated in real time. 21. The DC was actually rather low. There's been some things that has affected the DC basically, and you marrying them definitely helped. So that definitely clears. As she nods. Thank you, Father. I think that this might be another sign that you are no longer fit to rule. Taking the sayings of, "I'm sorry, sir. I mean no offense, but a raving old man over these 4 people who went out and found and returned your daughter to you, the daughter who you immediately tried to disown for not only following my heart, but keeping the future of our country in mind. Daddy, I love you, but your time has passed." And then Sarah gets an inspiration for that. He just is standing there fuming, furious. No. This won't. No! Guards! He starts screaming for the guards, and you see they start rushing into the room. As Sarah looks around, Furion right next to her, too, puts his hand on his blade. He doesn't draw it. And you see about 10 guards rush in. What are you all doing?
Can I look at Marrow's face and see what's going on in there?
Give me an insight check.
In that dank head?
Yeah, give me an insight check.
Nice.
19.
That's a 19.
Morrow, he is hard to read. He keeps himself as stone-faced as he can. But you see the slight smirk on his face and what looks to be maybe some pride in his eyes as he's staring at Sarah. He's not looking at the king at all.
You see that he nods and he's like, well, thinking like, well, either I'm fighting my way out of here or not, so I might as well try it. In his eyes, he says, Morrow, would you happen to be a caster as well?
I dabble. Why?
Do you know how to detect magic in a room?
He just looks at you for a second. And you see his eyes just immediately flick over to... you notice you don't see him do any spell, like ritual, anything like that. But his eyes immediately just flicker over to the old man. Well, that's certainly interesting now, isn't it? You could have mentioned something a little sooner, don't you think?
While this is all happening, Gruthor takes out his sword, puts it down in front of, now Queen Sarah.
Mm.
Goes down on one knee and says, "All hail, Queen Sarah."
I mean, she has my vote.
What are the rest of you doing? What are the rest of you doing?
Long live the Queen.
No, that's a bit flustered though. So he's gonna be like, yeah, long live the queen, whatever. Like, okay, cool. Guards, no.
Izzy, what are you doing?
Izzy is just looking at Marrow, and at his comment, he just kind of shrugs nonchalantly, and he simply says to him, I think it would be better if you fix it, because if we fix it, your people will get hurt.
Okay. And then Ava, what are you doing?
Petting a cat, obviously.
There's gonna be a roll. There's gonna be a roll for Grunthor, but I want to see what everybody else is doing first.
Yeah. Shit, I had an idea, but Grunthor came up with a really good idea. I will pull out my ring with the golden smile on it.
Okay.
And following Grunthor's lead, I will kneel down and I will kind of hold up, not like offering it to her, but kind of showing it. And I will say, "All hail Queen Sarah, by the order of the Golden Grin." And I'll kneel and bow to her, as Grunthor did.
Grunthor, that would be persuasion with advantage. And the actions affected the DC.
Oops. Oh, there's one. That's a 13.
Okay.
And a 4, and I'm going to burn my inspiration.
Okay.
Jesus.
Smart man.
Do I roll it again twice or just once?
I think you just roll one more in this case.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, tell me what it is. There's not
It's
coming
meant
through.
to be a 13.
13.
It's meant to be a 13.
Okay. That actually was the DC based on the actions of your party. So, because it wasn't who you were trying to convince, it was Morrow you were trying to convince. So as he's watching
And the cards.
and you see this, Morrow steps out into the middle of the room. As he goes, "That is right. The king has summoned you all here," addressing the guards, "to announce that he has officially passed the reins on to his daughter Sarah.
This shady bitch. I love him.
Long live the queen, and may she reign. May her reign be filled with prosperity and happiness." And he bows to her as all of the guards kind of looking around, very confused, then all take a knee as well. As the king goes, "What? No! What, Morrow, what are you doing?" As he stands up and he turns around. He just has a smirk on his face. "I believe, sir, I'm telling you that you no longer have a job." As the king just looks at him aghast, and he goes, "Oh, and your friend here is some kind of shapeshifter. So maybe you shouldn't be lecturing other people on who they should and shouldn't trust. Just a thought."
Morrow has been waiting for this day his entire life.
Yeah, no, this is planned.
And the king is like, "How dare you speak to me like this? Oh, private citizen, I talk to people like this all the time. I would never address my queen like this, though." And the king is going to try to take a swipe at Morrow. And actually connects as he just launches and punches him right in the face. A really strong hit, actually. Let's see what he did. Oh, as he just...
When the frail old man is buff.
Say what? Oh, yeah. Well, he's filled with rage. As Morrow just kind of...
Damn, the king's a barbarian. Fuck. Thank you.
He stands up really tall, and you hear from behind. Sarah says, "Guards, take my father away, please. He needs some time to cool down." The guards...
And that old man.
Very, very confused, just looking around. And Sarah says, "Today, please." and they snap into action as they go, and they start grabbing the king. He goes, "Let go of me! Unhand me!" As he starts pulling him away. Ava, what are you doing specifically?
Oh, fuck. I guess looking over at Theron to gauge his reaction when I said I was with the golden grin, and then turning toward the old man, hearing that he's a shapeshifter, seeing what the fuck he's gonna do. So I guess looking at Theron real quick, seeing if he's trying to fucking stab me, and then look at the old man and keep my eyes on him.
Give me a insight check on Furion. Okay.
Guys, I have something for this.
He honestly...
Yeah, I've got ideas.
He honestly doesn't seem to have paid much attention. At the moment, anyway, now that you're checking, if he did register anything, he has totally shifted his focus into what's happening. I mean, you know, from his perspective, he married this girl in secret, came home, and all of a sudden her father's getting arrested. The one man he was like super scared of. So
honestly, an amazing first impression.
Yeah,
brilliant.
And then I'm sorry, what was your other person you were wanting to check?
Old man who's a shapeshifter, apparently.
Okay. Give me another insight check.
Oh, that's very bad.
5. You notice...
Inspiration.
Man, you do have inspiration.
No.
That was the metagame whisper if you'd like to use it.
Oh, all right. Fill up better.
15. Okay. You do notice that as all of this is happening, the old man doesn't seem concerned with it, but he is staring at you with intent and interest.
Me?
Yes, you.
Oh.
Yeah. Ava got a sugar daddy. Let's go.
Is he restrained at all, or is he just hanging out and he's got a cane?
The old man is just kind of hanging out. The guards are still kind of confused. They've got some trying to arrest the king. They're not really sure. No one's really doing anything to the old man yet. They kind of view him as just like, he's an old man, he'll be there.
Has it? I'm assuming it's been less than 10 minutes. Is he still brimming with transmutation magic?
Yeah. It's been less than 10 minutes, and he's still
cool.
Yeah.
Guys,
you guys see?
like me.
Izzy very quietly pulls out a piece of silver string that's been tied together, and it seems to be shimmering. You see very quickly he takes the string and you see he makes a stringed shape with his hands. You know how like kids would play with strings and make shapes with them.
Mm-hmm.
You see he does that, and he calls out the words "Luce Allah," and points the shape at the old man. I need him to make a DC 13 intelligence check. Izzy casts Phantasmal Force on him.
Oh, shit.
Okay. Phantasmal
God.
Force.
Yeah.
Would you say a DC, what was it?
It's 13.
13. Okay. And I'm sorry, one more time.
Please
what was
fail.
that? He does not. That's an
13,
18 on the
please.
die. So, and then what?
Fuck this old man.
What was it? He doesn't have a -5 on anything, but I'm sorry, was it charisma or intelligence you said, right? Yep.
It's
he
intelligence.
He passes.
Yay, thank you.
As you do this,
Fuck this old man specifically.
you see him, his eyes still kind of intently looking at Ava. He kind of flashes you a look and then looks back to Ava and then kind of just starts looking about everybody. The king at this point, while they're trying to restrain him, starts saying, "What are you doing? Get off me. Can't you see what's happening? Do you know who that is up there?" He points a finger at Furion. "That is the son of the Empire. This is a coup. He has brainwashed my daughter. He has come to steal our throne."
Nozak's done with this old man.
That was the king, by the way.
Nozak's going to turn to the king and is going to say, "You need to shut up." and he is going to cast Hold Person.
Go for it. What is that?
That is a Wisdom DC of 12.
Ooh,
Must be
You need to
nice.
roll
I rolled a
a
2
saving throw.
on the dice.
So he is now completely paralyzed.
Finger still pointing at Furion.
For
Just pointing and
he is
frozen.
completely paralyzed for a full minute. And because we're not in combat, we don't have to worry about him getting another roll every turn. But yeah, so he's just completely paralyzed, and I'm gonna be like, Sarah, you have 1 minute. I would suggest you announce something now.
Very well. Yes, this is Furion. He is the son of the Emperor, and you hear, some gas go out. But I assure you that he has not brainwashed me in any capacity. I am acting in my own free will, and we have wed. And you hear a bunch of people go, what? That can't be true. It was...
To add to that, Grunther is going to say, "All hail the prince consort to the queen, Furion."
Give me another persuasion check. This one's with disadvantage, though, because the people do have a bias.
You hear them all just go, eh.
10.
There's a general confusion. You see some of them, you see one in particular start to salute, and then his friend kind of elbows him, and he's like, and she says, "This was, among other things, a strategic union between myself and Furion to unite our two nations. This is the start of a better chapter for Cornelia. I regret to say that my father is having a hard time with it, so he will need to be taken to his chambers just so he can come to terms with it. But this is the future, and it is a good and bright future. And Furion is not here to steal the throne." And she just kind of sighs. She goes, "Who would want Cornelia in its current state? We need to build back. We need to rebuild our infrastructure. We need trade. This can help." Let's see. You see the people. They still seem really hard to persuade to arrest the king. But the one that did try to salute, no one seems to be moving. He does break rank and go up and hold person. Does it paralyze him to where they can't move, or is he stiff like a stand? If they tried to bind his hands, are they gonna have to snap it off? Or are they gonna have to grunt through this guy?
He is paralyzed. So
Okay.
My idea of it is just he can't move himself. So he's I think of it like paralyzed with fear. Other people can move you, but he can't move himself. So that's how I kind of saw it.
The one starts to bind the king's hands, and his friend that nudged him said, "What are you doing? That's the king." He says, "It doesn't seem like it is anymore. I mean, that's Princess Sarah. She was going to be queen. They're saying she's queen now. I mean, sooner than we expected, but why do we have any reason to doubt it?"
The king can now move.
At this point, he was already bound, and he's like, "Ugh. I have no daughter. I definitely have no son-in-law. You will be the ruin of this kingdom, Sarah. You should be ashamed of yourself." They start pulling him away. "Come on, sir. I think you need to lie down for a little bit. Let go of me. I'll walk myself. This is not the end of this, Your Majesty." As he turns and starts to leave.
I mean, he said Your Majesty, so therefore I think that's a declaration of
Did we create a villain?
I mean, I was terrified we were about to commit regicide, so...
I actually thought you might,
I
too. I wasn't sure how this was going to go.
I was so scared. I was like, oh god, there's gonna be a huge battle. This is so bad.
I'm going to get up, put my sword away, and I'm going to stalk right straight over to the old man.
Yes, murderer.
Grab him by the arm.
Okay.
And I'm going to say, guards, take this one away, please, for questioning.
Are you trying to move him, or are you just asking the guards to?
I'm asking the guards to.
He holds up his hand. No, I'm just a frail old man. I'll go. He starts to turn, and then he stops and just looks over his shoulder. At this point, there's about 5 guards left. The other half went with the king. And he looks at you, Ava. That's a mighty interesting tattoo you got there on your palm, I noticed. Where'd you get that?
Well, I have a feeling you already know. You make that face that smart people make when they know things that they think people don't know they know.
Well, I know lots of things. What is it you know?
Oh, I know you're full of shit.
That's rude.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. It's rude, but it's true.
At this point, he's studying you, but you can see for the first time he seems to be realizing something else.
Uh-oh.
As his brow kind of furrows. Then he looks over. Specifically at you, Grunthor. Then he looks at you, Nozak. Wait a minute. Did you talk to her? Did you talk to her?
That is a word that you could use. I don't think it would be accurate, but that is a word we could use.
Hold on. He kind of puts his hands and he's like rubbing his temples. He closes his eyes for a minute and he goes. His eyes flash open. Wait, what did you do? What did you do?
Nothing.
I've done a lot of things. You're gonna have to be a lot more specific.
It's gone. You killed her.
No.
But in our defense, she killed him, and I'm going to point to
He puts his finger up and just closes his eyes again. He takes a really deep breath. And
he's one of those psychics. Okay.
You're... So it finally happened. I'll be damned. His voice changes. I was kind of hoping that the king would detain you long enough. Or that you'd die. Well, that didn't happen.
Nah, still here.
Looks over at the guards as they start to approach. He just gives them a look, and then they just stop.
That's cheating.
Who would have thought the 4 of you? Well. Different than the others, I suppose. What makes you so different than the others, huh? Huh? He just seems to be looking for an answer.
We're alive and they're not.
Who are you?
Oh, that's right. We haven't actually introduced one another, have we? He starts to take a step back. Well, I've been here a very, very long time. I have. You could say that I've been a fan of the Wind Shrine myself. I've been swatting away pesky flies that come into Cornelia, poking their noses where they shouldn't be. Those sent by the Ice Devil. Up until now, it's been pretty easy. A lie here. A slit throat there. But you all somehow surprised me. You've made our job much harder. That's for sure. You've made it much harder. We needed that power. We needed that crystal, and you've destroyed it. No matter. We have 3 more. That should be enough for our ends.
Who's we?
Oh, right. I'm getting ahead of myself again. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Tiamat, one of the 4.
God damn it.
And the murderer of the new warriors of light. As you see this person, he starts to shed his skin as this head kind of pops out as another one pops out next to it. As you can see, his flesh starts to peel away, and you see like these draconic, just blue scales all over his body as 1, 2, 6 heads come out as he starts to grow. Each head coming out, by the way, starts grabbing on and devouring what's left of the guards in the room as he goes, "You have stood in our way. You have stolen from us the power of the Wind Crystal, and now I steal your lives."
We just got to level 3.
We're going to end there. I know it's a little early, but this is going to end up being a long, a long fight. So,
that does not make me feel better.
For Final Fantasy fans, you will recognize Tiamat as one of the 4 fiends and guardian of the Wind Crystal, who was siphoning off its power. And just as a little
wondering when he would pop up.
Just a little bit of a preview, I do have his sprite for next time. And here's your good old-fashioned, I guess,
God,
pixel
Preview.
remaster sprite or whatever for next
Let's
time.
go.
So, he's gonna get bigger, don't you worry.
Yeah.
I did this.
You didn't think you were gonna get the Wind Crystal without fighting one of the 4 fiends, did you?
Y'all,
Everybody not familiar
only
with Final Fantasy 1's like, yeah.
Guess what, y'all? I only have 1 level 2 spell left.
So, we will pick up there. I know we're a little early tonight, but getting into this, we'd end up going super late, I think. So, quick note. When we will pick up next time with this, and it should be the final episode of our first arc. As we finish this, we'll be moving into basically whatever comes next, but this should basically be the end of our Cornelia or Wind Crystal arc. It will also be the last episode of Kupo Quest for the year, which sounds drastic, but we're just taking 1 week off. We'll be off December 26th because I'll be out of town traveling, and I believe some of our players will be out of town as well. But yeah, we will pick up there with our first battle with one of the 4 fiends. So yeah, there you go. Had a wedding, had a deposed a king, and found out who that old man was. Also, it seems like maybe you're not the first people Shiva has sent to Cornelia. Interesting development. And we'll see what happens there next time. So, have a good one, friends. No one died!
Bye.
Died, yay!
Not until next episode.
Rally ho.